Okay, so it's 7. I'm starting late. I was like wide awake in the middle of the night. It's so weird how you can feel sleepy but can't sleep. And so I was laying there, laying there. It just sounded like noisy. I couldn't relax my mind. So I decided to get up for a while and I started watching some movie. It was really intense. It was a true story about a guy being what is that called? I keep hearing misdiagnosed, misrepresented, but it's when a victim picks out the wrong guy. And then in this case, it was a bunch of girls, but he looked similar to the person who was committing the crime. But they, as soon as this guy got pegged, they stopped looking for anybody, even though his fingerprints didn't match. They make excuses. They just went on the victim's facial recognition thing or whatever, and that has been, we've seen the error of that over time because this is an old movie. But anyways, it was intense, and so and still was being really whiny, so I went and laid back down, and then I fell back asleep for a long while. So anyways, this is the second time I got up. But let me think. There's a few things I was going to talk about. One thing I just saw, I went on TikTok for like 2 seconds, and I was like, oh my God, it's like when you talk about the weird shit, man. But I gotta say about this. So yesterday, I was moving some stuff. I had taken everything out of my car the other day before I was going to go downtown and put it in the back of my mom's car. And so yesterday I went to put it back into my car, and because I had some boxes I was taking Saturday to go see my kids, and the dog beds that I had back there for the dogs to sleep in. So I was getting them out of my mom's car and putting them in my car. I lifted up the tailgate and I leaned down to get the things, and it was like I knew what was about to happen, but it was like I couldn't stop it. And or I could have, but I don't know, because sometimes I feel like I can hear, but I don't have time to do something. And so anyways, the fucking thing came crashing down on my head, like right here I've got a scab. I'm not gonna touch it because I didn't. When it first hit, you know how many times you hit your head and you're just like, oh, and you're just rubbing it. And so I was rubbing it, and I swear to God, I don't care how fucking crazy I sound. These motherfucking Archons, I swear to God, they fucking take that shit and slam it down as hard as they fucking can. I swear to God, the momentum behind it is like it's unnatural. It's like, fuck you guys, fucking attacking all the goddamn time. It's all the goddamn time. All the motherfucking time. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Fuck off and give me a fucking break, man. But see, they just love to feed off of that. That just is all they need is a reaction. Well, it's hard to not react when you're getting slammed in the fucking head with a goddamn door. So I was rubbing my head, and then I was like, okay, it's okay. And then I don't know, I must have put my hand back up to rub it again because it kept hurting, and then there was blood all over my hands, and that's when I was like, son of a fucking bitch. So I did not, I mean, this one already, I don't know what the hell they did, how there's a big split there. Like, aren't you supposed to seal that shit up? And I keep on thinking, did they make more hair come out? I don't know. But anyways, but I got those new biotin vitamin things. They're expensive as shit, so we'll see how that does with the baby hairs. I should show those too while, because we're gonna see if they really do make it speed up. Because there's these girls showing like in their hair, their baby hairs are like, oh, look at that in 3 weeks. So we'll see. You can't trust any of these motherfuckers. They'll do anything for $1. But look at me, I'm being scanned by my insurance 24 hours a day to save a fucking dollar. So I'm no one to judge. But anyways, I was out there and the car slams on the back of my head. And so then once I saw there was blood, then I was like, son of a fucking bitch, I don't want to go get, oh man, and my mom can't see, what the fuck. and it was hit so hard. I was, oh my God, I was so nauseous. And so I got inside. She got a flashlight and she's trying to see. And there's just like a lot of, it was like a whole skid on my head. And she was trying to find like an opening, but all the hair and stuff, which I think the hair also gave padding. But so she found something that looked like a cut, but she said it didn't look like a gash. She thought it was fine without stitches. So I was like, hell yeah, because I do not want to go get stitches. And unless it was pretty late open, and probably went, and we got it to stop bleeding. So that was a big thing to me, because, you know, working in the ER too. I know, like, if somebody comes in and they've got a deep cut, it just keeps bleeding. It just gushes and gushes. If you can get something to stop bleeding, you're good. But see, that's also, I'm not gonna pick the scab, but it's gonna, what I did was, immediately started doing the aloe vera. So she looked at my thing and I just started dumping the aloe vera all over my head. And I swear to God, it started feeling like by midday, it was like, I think it feels like it happened a few days ago. It feels so much better. I can't believe it. It's still, now that this part is scabbed up, it's kind of bothering me, but also it's bothering me because when it hit, it did all of these muscles. And I just feel like, fuck, look how close that was to my neck. Like, fuck, man. They can break your neck, just bam. But they can't kill you unless you're meant to die. So, I don't think the things they can do, you can kill you. But they can sure hurt you. But I don't think that they can change your storyline. Like, they couldn't put me in a wheelchair if I wasn't meant to be in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like, it just, there's not, I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't see it as being like all this surprise and chaos. That's not how I see things. Everything seems like it's like a clock. Like, everything is so fucking perfect. And so, and it wouldn't go if it wasn't fucking everything lined up the way it's lined up. So, I don't know. People can look in, what they see is what they see. And everybody sees weird shit. But it's definitely bothering me right now. But that scabby part would probably have to kind of open. I put more aloe vera on it in the middle of the night because it was bothering me. Then I did go wash my hair yesterday afternoon because it was kind of like matted up and all this aloe vera and blood, and my hair was sticky and stuff. So I washed it, and but it dried out this part. But what got on my head, which is some of the things that get in your head, working in the high-pitched fucking squeal, like, it's fucking intense how high it is. And the moon, I don't know, it just goes back and forth during the night, and then it just disappears. It's the weirdest shit, man. I swear to God. This world is so fucking weird. You got Archons fucking slamming you in the goddamn head. So, washed my hair, got the gunk out, put more aloe vera on it in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, because what got my head was this. Oh God, this was so, it was so gross. I know I talked about it before. But so this woman came in, and this is, I was working, it must have been, it wasn't my regular place to work. So I don't know if I was traveling, but I was in town. But I was at an ER that I worked at as a lab tech. I mean, yeah, I worked as a lab tech there, but I also worked as an ER tech there. No, she never let me be an ER tech. I just worked in the lab. Oh, yeah. So anyways, it was a small hospital. I knew lots of people. And so I think, I don't know. You know, when they know you before you became a nurse, sometimes you don't get the respect or whatever as somebody who comes in. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I wasn't like it wasn't a job that I was a good fit. And so, anyways, when I was working at this ER, I was there a lot though, because I remember, maybe I did work there for a while, but I don't think so. Maybe I don't have any idea. But I remember I was there a bunch of shifts. Because that was also, there's always people coming in with toys stuck up their rectum. They come in with these hokey ass stories. Those are at all the different ERs, but I remember at this one, you know, a doctor's laughing about it and showing the things. Oh yeah, the story. Oh, he just sat down. Like the craziest stuff. You wouldn't believe what people will do. Oh my God, the way impulses and fetish feed people is like, get control of yourself. Seriously, like, for real, for real. There's people who have to go get surgery because I've talked about this before too, but when something like the people who think like, oh fun, let's put something up there, well, there's like a sucking system. And so people will put something up there and then there's a part where it just goes in and they can't get it out. No matter what they do, everything they do, it just goes further up and gets very uncomfortable. And poop won't just push it out of the way. It's a blockage. So anyways, they've got big issues in Little China. And so anyways, but at this one also, this got in my head was, so this woman came in and she was at one of the other ERs downtown a few days before. And she had fallen down the stairs and hit her head. And I don't remember, there was the part I remember was just like, oh my God. But I don't remember all of this stuff. I don't remember like why she came in complaining. I don't remember everything that they did. I just can't remember. They didn't do stitches or anything, but so it was like a, what is that called? An egg shell? Is that what it's called? An egg? And somebody gets one of those things that sticks out like, so she had that. So she fell and hit her head, which that's one thing too, is you always want the pressure to go out. So when you see those big knots, that is good. Like when somebody gets hit and they have a knot, it's like the stuff's going out. It's when the stuff goes in that can be a bigger problem. And so, so she had a knot, and whatever they did, I'm not sure. I can't remember, but the doctors who I was, of course, with thought that the other doctors were total idiots. And so she, they had to do something. And the doctor looked at it, and then he told me to clean it. And he went out of the room. And so I go over. This was so gross. I go over. I start cleaning it, you know, like spraying the water and stuff. Her fucking scalp came off down like where it was. Oh God, it was so disgusting. And I just like put it back on, like a little sewer cap. Oh my God, here, let's put that back on and we'll go back and tell the doctor her head just came off. And he was like, oh, well, I think he said, oh, I was worried about that. I was thinking that might happen. Thanks for that. And he said they had to set up, like she was going to have to be admitted, go into like ICU to go into brain surgery and have all this infection scraped out and stuff. And she had really short hair too. And it was just like, so anyways, when you hit your head, you get those, like that immediately came into my head, that thing on her head. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh shit, I gotta take care of this. I don't want to kill something in the head. And so I don't know what happened. Like, and it's horrible to get those things in your head because then you hit your head and you're like, oh my God, I was gonna have one of those. So don't mean to put that in your head, but anyways, that was immediately in my head. And so I'm like, man. So I keep like feeling, and I keep like all the different sensations and stuff I keep putting in my head. Okay, it's healing, it's getting stronger, I'm strong, my bones are strong, I'm not weak. Because there's a part of us conforming our, not just our health, but our attitude and stuff. Like they trick us. Like a lot of people feel like it's a trick prison planet, you know, they get tricked after death, but they trick us all through life. And so big tricks too. Big tricks get you out of your abilities of knowing who and what you are and what you can do for yourself, because you can heal yourself. They trick us into thinking that we get sick and die. So we get sick and die because we believe it. So it happens. So anyways, that's why I say a lot of this awakening or going to the 5D or going into your crystalline body or whatever is just the understanding of who and what you are, and focusing more on that instead of like the hologram aspect of self. You focus more on the true self, and the true self is no harm, no foul, and so you are good to go. and there's nothing that can hurt you. And which again, on these fucking med beds, I was thinking, I can't see him holding this till 2029. I think him saying that is just to get us to be like, well, how's he going to have, if he's ending the money that's going to the research, how is he going to have it cured by 2029? And maybe it's just to start the conversations, to get people to be like, I don't know, maybe he knows something we don't know. Maybe there's technology we don't know about. Maybe there are people who are trying to make money off of these CHEMOs are hiding other stuff that could help us. Like, a whole bunch of things could be going on. And they are. So, and they want to, get us all to put in money into research, kill off people in our families, and we're putting money into their research when that money is really just going into their fucking island trips and shit. So, yesterday, this other fucking weird-ass movie I watched. Like, there's so many fucking weirdos out there. So, I mean, these people who just want to do Frankenstein stuff on people. God, there are so many people that just being found dismembered. Oh, what the hell? The most horrible things that you think, like, how could anyone do that? Like, first time you ever heard somebody being dismembered by somebody, it was like, oh my God. Now it's just like every week. Oh yeah, 10 people were dismembered by their friend yesterday. Oh yeah, well that guy served them up for supper. Well, it's just like, what the fuck? Your head's just spinning like, how sick is this world? And I wonder if it was uncomfortable. So, anyways, I go from head things, dismembering, so gruesome. But, so you have all these people who are comfortable with that now, and so it's pretty common. And, but there was something else I was gonna say. Well, I don't know. I'm going to skip off of there then, because I don't fucking know. Let me think if I was finished talking about my head. It kind of hurts my neck and my shoulders. I was like, son of a bitch, man. My ears are hurting. My jaw's been hurting. It's like I keep on being like, it's just like the energy feels intense. It just is intense. And it's weird. It's so weird. Like the moon doing weird shit. The sky and stuff. Oh, get this though. The little winds, man. So yesterday my mom's friend was having a workman over. He was doing some work, so she said, hey, you want to go out and go shopping for a little while? And my mom was like, do you think you'll be safe? Do you think you'll be okay? She's getting all mom, like, here, she'll just hold the ice on it for me and all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's okay. I got it. It's just very pampering, and it's just kind of funny. So anyways, so she went out to go shopping with her friend, and which we have a wave going in mom's friend group. The other little ladies and stuff, they're all getting the copper things. They're all getting all the tea powders. They're getting on the health kick. They're all getting in on the board of like, you can stop this aging thing. Like, we can stop this. Like, yeah, you can stop this. And so they're all getting on board, getting their stuff. So that's very exciting. But so they were talking about it or something yesterday. And so my mom said something to her about something, have you been sick or something? Something with the conversation, but it was like, have you been sick? And she said, well, yeah, no, how did it go? Because it was, maybe she asked my mom, have you been sick? I don't know, somewhere in the conversation, something about somebody being sick. And my mom said, well, you know what Kelly always says? She always says it's the fog that makes her sick. And my mom always, when I say, because I'll be like, I don't feel good or whatever, the allergies or whatever. And she'll be like, oh, are you okay? Did you need to go to the doctor? I was like, I'm not going to motherfucking doctors. And I'll be fine. It is the fucking fog. It's the fucking chemical that makes you sick. Gives you stomach flu and shit. And so she's always like, oh, okay. like, you sound so crazy until they see it. And then, so in this conversation, her friend, so my mom says, have you been sick? And she goes, well, I have to tell you, It sounds weird, but since you said that Kelly says it's in the fog, she says, I did get really sick when the fog came in. And she said, not only did I get really sick, I started coughing up something. And I started looking at it, and it looked like little jelly egg sacs, little jelly sacks I was coughing up. And it freaked me out. So I went and looked online, and I found a doctor talking about it and saying to cough those out, get those out of you. Which, how many times have I been saying the coughing is important to get rid of the infiltrates? I've been saying it and saying it and saying it. You got to cough this shit out because there's so many infiltrates. But if they are fucking having larvae or some kind of shit, like I didn't even know about this one. And so whatever the fuck, I mean, I know that the fog is a carrier agent because it's a density, so it can carry more things. And that's why you can look at it very suspiciously and take notice of your own health. But so she did notice that the fog made her sick. And not only that, she started paying attention, and she said it did have some kind of thing too, where she was going to the bathroom, these things and stuff. And so I don't know, like I cough, that makes me want to try and cough and gag out whatever I'm coughing up, because usually I just like will cough, and then it was always like it goes up, you cough, and then I just swallow. I don't start hawking up loogies and stuff. Now it's like, oh, maybe I better start hawking this shit up. I'm just putting it into my GI system, and it's hatching out some kind of creepy fucking, because now I'm out here in this fog. I was in the other fog over there, and I moved to this fog, and I was like, who knows if it's the same shit, man? Because we have different experiments going all the time. So, God. But, oh yeah, because that's what I was saying about the med bed thing. So if you were to keep it till 2029, you know how much that would piss people off? To get to the point to know, like, okay, well, we had this technology, and you had access to it. You were dropping hints, you were dropping breadcrumbs, and then you held it out while all of us were dying, and people will die. Like, they won't make it. The Western medicine's not going to pull them through. That it's falling apart, and this is like a time of getting people to look at things differently. And so I just can't imagine him holding out that truth, as the truth is coming out about everything, to hold that truth, is it dangling it in front of us or something. I think it's got to come sooner, this med bed thing. Like, they cannot just keep holding back, like, oh, we have this technology, but we're not going to tell you. Well, we had to get you to understand the corruption first. Well, we would really rather have our health first. That'd be our first priority. Then explain to us about these corrupt motherfuckers, because we get it. We get it. We pretty much all get it. We all are looking at it from different perspectives and stuff, but everybody gets it. Like, we get this as some bullshit. Because even if we're on two different sides of the fucking party, we're both still looking and seeing like some fucking fuckery is going on, and nobody likes it. And so I think give us a chance to get ourselves healthy. So hopefully we're going to get more focused on RFK, because now we're focused on his uncle and the release of those papers. It's like, come on, let's get this show on the fucking road, man. Like, get shit moving. Fucking crash these motherfucking banks. Get these fucking pieces of shit, warmongering, goddamn globalist fuckers. Get them the fuck out. Like, give us fucking peace on earth. Like, we're fucking sick of this shit, man. So, and I keep having a headache too, and I know that's probably being slammed in the back of the fucking head with the goddamn door. It was heavy as fuck too. It was so goddamn heavy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I could get hit that hard in the head and not pass out. And that's one thing my mom was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even know you were out there. You could have just been laying out there dead. I would have not known it." But that is also now I'm having total PTSD. Every time I lean down, I'm like, oh, shit, something gonna hit me. It's like, oh my God, it's coming for me. It keeps feeling like, ugh. And my head feels just like raw. Like everything I go up and like something just barely brushes over. It's like, oh shit. It's like, oh my God, it's intense. They're getting what they want. They're feeding off of my fucking whatever the hell. my intensity. So, anyways, let's look at my tooth because I keep thinking about my teeth. So, let's look at that and see. Seems like it's got like a real dark in the middle, so it must be the middle part building up. And at some point, it's got to get more level, not so jaggedy. And then I don't think it'll go through the darkness as much. I think it'll get more to just kind of, I don't know. I think it's going to get to a part where it's not going to keep doing that. But whatever. Anyways, today was my pay, and I always love to get my shit paid off. Fuck, I swear to God, to just go in and pay all the stuff I gotta pay, get it all paid, and it's like, it just feels like a relief, like it's just not hanging over me. So that always makes me feel better. But they did give coupons the other day when I got, and which I'm still loving this rug, and they gave us coupons. I was like, you dirty motherfuckers, you're always pulling us back in, the trickery here. But $10 off of 20, so I got 3 of those motherfuckers. So I'm gonna probably go up there today and spend 10 or 15 bucks and get something. I got a really cute Calvin Klein dress there. Really, really nice. It was $12.99, but I'm sure it was probably way more expensive. Like, you can find some, like I got a shirt the other day there, and because I was just looking, trying to find smaller shirts now, like in t-shirts and stuff. And because after the explant, all my shirts are bigger. So trying to get ones that fit me better. And the one I got, it had a tag from the Loft. And I think I got it for $3. And I can't remember. Maybe it was like 37 bucks or something. For the t-shirt, saw the tag. Nobody's ever even took the tag off. I got a dress the other day. The dress I wore the other day to go out, I didn't even know it had a tag on the inside, and because it's from the thrift store. So when I put it on, though, I found a tag, and so it still had the tag on it, and it was 150. There was 165 on one currency, and then it was, so that maybe was Canadian, 165, and then American was 109. Maybe, because I didn't recognize the other little thing. But anyway, so it still had the tag. I don't know, I think I paid like 15 bucks or something for that one. So anyways, I don't know how much this dress is, but I'm going to look, because they a lot of times at this place have really nice, good quality, like good brands and stuff. And so because the church people all buy good stuff, and then they give it to the church to build the church up. But it's just so weird. Like, that is one thing too. Like, I was upstairs just, I was cooking, and I made some really good goulash. And so the TV was gone. My mom was out shopping. The TV was gone. And it's Jack Prosebiak, whatever. I used to see him all the time on Twitter when I was on Twitter. And I don't know if he just got built up since then, or if he was already like a well-known podcaster then. I have no idea. But anyways, he's got this show, and it's on this channel my mom watches with all these podcasts. It's got like Charlie Kirk, I think is one. This Jack Prosebiak, whatever. A couple more. Some of them are a whole group of guys. Oh my God, Drama Queen. Just a minute. She's been so whiny lately. So, anyways, he had on Candace Owens. So apparently, from what I gather from hearing some of the stuff out there, so Vladimir and Trump, or Donald and Vladimir, they're in cahoots. Now they're chatting it up and ending the whole thing over at the Crane. And they are deciding that they're going to let's all just divide up these minerals. Because we're going to go into that kind of world where it's like everything is a one world. Like, why can you say that's yours and not mine? How just because you live there, everything and anything that we have is to share. So things are going to just be changing. But anyways, in these talks, so it's like, let's end this and let's just all share these resources. And so you got that. Then over at the Strip, there's total attacks going on where it's getting all these people all freaking out. And then you've got in all these different countries right now that they are supposedly attacking Christians and slaughtering them and killing them. Because how dare you be a Christian? So they are under attack in these places. There's people who want to go to the real and they want to go and take them out. They're looking for, you know, a militia group. Let's head over there. So it's bringing up a lot of emotions in people, whatever's going on. But, you know, that's their stuff. That's their, you can pay attention to it, how much you need to pay attention to it for what your stuff is. But for their stuff, it's part of their thing. And they're all caught up in it. So, but to me, like, all of this is to expose certain people, expose certain places, expose certain laundry problems, and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm going to stop those extra vitamins. Maybe she's been more whiny since I put those in. I don't know. Maybe I will try that. She's very whiny. And then when she starts, like, trying to clean her, I don't know if she got a sore down there or what the hell, because that is something that they're doing is, from what I understand too, they're spraying us with herpes and stuff. So, you know, she could have something like that. I don't know. They're doing a lot of weird shit. And supposedly they're activating, the viruses are in us. They're just activating them. So whatever they're doing is just activating the stuff that's inside of us. They're depleting us, making it where we can't fight things ourselves, and then activating certain things inside of us. And then laying egg sacs or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck. It was so grossing my mom out. She was just like, and it was so grossing the lady out who it happened to too. And then to me, it's just like, keep on being like, man, that's gross as fuck, but what the fuck is it, man? But there's a doctor online who says on YouTube or something saying, get that shit out of you. So I've been saying, though, you got to cough and you got to detox. I keep saying it and saying it. And so let me think back, because this, well, okay, because this is edging into my mind. And so I just saw this video. It's this old timer. He looked like an old mountain man or something. I don't know. I'm assuming he must be Christian, because then he starts saying that it was so strange. This is what I mean. It's like, this is like gymnastics to me, of spiritual gymnastics of the mind or something. So what he is saying, there's a new movement of all these young people. Well, thank you. That are saying God is energy. And so it's this new movement, and they're whacked out because they're saying God is energy. And they're drawing you into the three-dimensional with this concept of God as energy, because that makes God matter. And God isn't matter, God is spirit. And so when they're trying to tell you it's energy, then it has to become matter. And it is... so then you are idolizing matter, and that's a false god. And I don't even remember all the stuff he was saying. It was sounding so wacky to me. And so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna clarify. To me is everything is energy. Everything. Nothing could exist without energy. Everything is energy. There's an illusion that is created, and that is more of the density in matter. And so the vibration, when you have something that's going super fast, and then you slow it down and slow it down, and it's like, to me, it's kind of like us going into like the slow play of the situation. It's like how I say, like, it's a template. It's like a memory. It's like a story. It's like this thing. And somehow we're a part of these things, because the universe is so perfect of how everything fits together. It's not chaos. And so the energy is going. We're energy, the universe is energy, and you slow it down. Then you can go into an experience and see what an experience is like. And in that process, you create an experience, and you create an identity, and you create like a self. And so in that density, well, in the one that we're in, it gives the illusion of a body and what all can happen to the body. Well, they take it further and start saying, hey, let's cut into that body of yours. And so they take it further. So in our minds, we create it further. And so we keep allowing these things as they just pull us through this fucking amusement park. And we keep on playing the role and creating this stuff. So, but it's an illusion, and you speed it up, and you go speed up out of here, which would happen immediately when you die. You are in a faster thing, which I was going to say, I forgot to say the other day, that guy Eric, the one who his mom was talking to him, who still has a show, I can't remember what it's called, but something about Eric is the title. And I'm pretty sure she's on YouTube. You can probably find her out of Chandler's or something like that. And that she was real science. She was a doctor. Her son dies. He comes back, starts chatting. So she starts asking him questions and stuff. And then she starts doing a show. Everybody's tuning in because they want to know what he's saying and stuff. And he did interviews. He talked to all sorts of different famous people and said all sorts of stuff. But but one thing he said is, like, where he works, like his job is like a greeter, is like when people pass over, he like has like a station or something where the people who are confused, he helps them. And so he said a lot of people come and they're really confused. A lot of people are like, you know, what's going on? Because they think that they would be dead and then they're still alive, but they can't do anything and stuff. And they can't move right. So he said he is in that. It's like, it's almost like a classroom, he said. And he teaches people how to move, because it is, as soon as you think it, you're there and stuff. And it's so, everything is like a lot faster. But see, we would know how to do that. It's kind of like the people who are coming out of the long-term sentences here or something, the people who are trapped, maybe because they come out confused. Because that is the thing. If you come out confused, then you can be tricked. And so, but they spend so much time confusing people, and then the people die, and then they're confused as to what's going on, and then they can get tricked. And they've been doing that or something. So but so anyways, he had said that he's at this place when people die, like at this, like a center or something, where people come and they all gather up, and then they kind of help them and teach them and stuff like that. I don't know. This is all stuff from her thing. You can go watch her thing. I saw this back like in 2016. And so, and I don't know if the other woman has her show still, but anyways, I'm sure I ran across that lady, or I saw someone sharing a TikTok or something. I saw someone sharing one of her videos on TikTok or something. But anyways, so that it did say, though, about the people coming out super confused and not knowing what to do, and the moving, you know, was very confusing to them. When I came out of my body that time, it felt like I was just walking. It didn't feel like anything. I just was walking and going towards the bathroom, and I was just thinking, man, it looks weird. Everything's so smoky. So gray. Well, it was, you know, the night, so I wasn't thinking that much about everything being gray, but it was the way it was smoky. And then there was a weird way that things moved, but I wasn't really, what threw me is when I looked back and saw my body laying there. That's when I was like, what? And then I was sucked in like a vacuum cleaner, and it went through my feet. It was just sucked in. It was like, whoa, that was so trippy. And, but it was the great clarification for me, is to realize, like, this is who I am. I'm me, but I'm not that body that's laying over there. That's an illusion. But it's like this spacesuit thing. It's like this protective barrier or something in this density. in this density is where you can have all these experiences, because it's like a lower density, it's a lower vibration, and so a lot of weird shit can play out, a lot of weird sicko weird stuff can go. But it's like the different people have to play the parts. They can't just be like, oh, this guy wants to see what it's like to be a murderer, so he's just going to randomly pick one of us over here who's here to experience something else. No, the only people he can have his experience with are people who are in his experience. He can't cross over and take us out. If we get taken out by one of them, we were a part of their experience. And so it's not, nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. And so we don't need to fear that all the time. It's like, oh my God, they're going to come and get me. They're going to kill me. They're going to do this. It can't happen unless that was what you signed up to have happen. It's impossible. And if yeah, some rogue soul goes and he starts just going and killing it, you don't like. That would be such chaos. It would be like, it would create such a, I don't know, I just can't see it happening. There's just like a structure to how energy works or something. And anyways, so, but when you get up to the concept of God, like where people are always like God, they keep wanting to make like God is this singular character. It's like this guy up there in charge of everything. It's like, that is not how it is. There's tons of gods, for one thing. There's tons of different beings that have been worshipped and idolized. And that is, you know, and you could worship them or idolize them, do whatever you want to do too. That's up to you. You know, that's a free-for-all. Everybody gets to decide what it is that they put their energy to and who it is they worship and stuff. So you worship, like we're going to witness a whole bunch of people all of a sudden realize they weren't worshiping who they thought they were worshiping. And that's going to be a real mind bender. So we have that's, you know, right, coming up hot in the fucking, on the center stage. But but as far as how I understand it, it's like if you took all of the energy, all of our energy, and you put it all back together, if you just took the bundle of everything and you put it all back together, it would be like this ginormous orb that would be considered, you know, God, the source, the all, the everything. But we are what it is. Without us, it doesn't exist. So it's like it is us put together in a different form. It's like taking the water and making it ice or something, you know. So it's not a singular thing that's separate from us. We are part of it. We are like the cells of the body. We are what makes it what it is. And when you think about the universe being thought and magnetism and creation and dreams and fantasies and stuff, then you I think you can look at the universe, or the universe's giant mind, in that we are the thoughts, we are the thought patterns, we are these thought waves and stuff. We are the creation of all of this, which gives the mind. It's like when we want to go in and we want to expand our mind and we go fill it full of information. It's like that is what the mind of the universe is, filled with information, of all of our information that comes up. So that's how you could look at the universe as a giant mind of one being. But you have to go into such a singular focus to get it to be the one, the all. And then, but to me, it's more productive to see, like, when we all come together, that we are the one, we are the all. But as all of us in separation, that we learn how to distinguish ourselves, but to look at others with respect, and to understand the perfection and the need of each and every individual. But also, the perfection is not something to chase. There's so many people that think that they can become perfect. They think that there's a perfection out there. Well, what are you comparing it to? Because we're all different. So what are you just picking and choosing? Well, that one over there, that one's perfect. That's what I'm striving to be, that one right there. It's like, yeah, and we're all such a little tiny difference. Like if we all came together, we would see that we are all the same, but different aspects. So it's like we all essentially are the different aspects of the God that all is, and then we are all the different aspects, so it can have every experience. So but then we as the experiencer, we can become sovereign and to understand ourselves so that we also are an experiencer. And all of that isn't a competition to God. It is an expansion to what God can do to the universe. It gets just an expansion. Everything is an expansion, expansion, expansion. And so it's not, I just feel like the people look at it things so materialistic. Like God is this one guy, and you got to make sure you get the right one. Watch out. If you're not worshiping that one, you're going to hell. And then, so you have that whole thing. And then that you have to worship something above you. You have to worship something to be worthy. And like all of that stuff just seems like that seems like a three-dimensional primitive concept of souls that don't really understand who and what they are. So they just come up with a storyline, that we're peons and there's a God out there who can make everything better for us and stuff like that. But really, God puts that back on you. What can you do? What can you do for me? What can you do to make things better? Because we are the creators of experience. And so, and there is a point in time, which I believe, when you don't like the experience you have, and that you turn it on self, and that you make a change for you, that everything changes. And that's why I say, you're on one timeline, and then you skip over to the other one. When you're on the one, you are experiencing, but you're experiencing what it's like to not be respected, what it's like to not be valued, what it's like to not be cared about. There's a lot of things like that because you are learning how to do that for yourself. So all the people over there, they're all supposed to be learning to do it for themselves. They're not going to be teaching you how to do it by trying to be, it's coming from the back door, not from the front. And so you have to see what your lessons are so that you can learn how to adapt yourself, so that you can start seeing like, oh, I can't get love from them. I've got to give it to myself. I got to learn how to love me. They're not going to make me feel better about myself. As a matter of fact, most of them are going to say things that kind of tear you down. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, they think they're so judged by their parents, but really their parents aren't judging them. They're judging themselves. They're projecting certain aspects of themselves onto the kid. Like they can pick up on like things that they do that this kid does. So this kid does these certain things and they pick up on it and they're just like, they wish that they weren't that way. So then so they're judgmental of the kid. They can't see it in themselves, but they can see it in their kid. And the kid needs to realize like you're a reflection of them to them, and not get caught up in how they feel about themselves, projecting it on you, but to learn how to love yourself even when others, if you like those parts of yourself, just because they don't like that part of themselves doesn't mean you have to dislike that part of yourself. You can like that part of yourself. It's a very twisted, complex journey. And the another thing, what they do is that when it is a kid who there's certain parts of themselves that they feel like wasn't protected, that nobody cared about and stuff. So then they have a kid who they feel that bond, and so then it can be like that they seem to really be favoring that child. And I've seen this in parenting things, and so it will seem like they're really favoritism towards this one, but it is a side of themselves that they felt like was being discarded when they were a kid, that nobody was caring about this part of them. And so they start caring about it in this other kid, which sets a whole dynamics in motion when you have these different kids and you're judging this side of yourself on that one, and then you're appreciating this side of yourself in that one and stuff. And so the more that we get clarification, the more that we can see and understand what we're doing and that we're projecting all the time into other people. And then also to not let people project onto you, to be able to figure out who you are without them giving you a sign of what they think you are. Because the projections are distortions. They're through these other people's perception. And it's a distortion. And you're never going to see yourself the truth. Who knows if you ever see yourself the truth? You know, you're just seeing it from different views, different angles, different, but who knows what the real, like none of us really know what our real self looks like. We know the people see us different than how we see ourselves. And so, what does anybody really see? It's always some type of distortion. But we desire to see ourselves more clearly, and we desire to have more control over ourselves. And so the more that we are honest with ourselves and look at ourselves more truly, then the more that we can see. But it takes a lot of honesty, and there's still, you're gonna find a distortion. I think that's why it goes on for fucking eons. Like, don't put pressure on yourself. Like, just go with the flow, man. Don't put a lot of pressure on yourself, because this is the long haul. This is like the long journey. Like, you're trying to fix it all real quick. You're trying to be perfect. You're trying to be in God's favor or whatever the hell. So but in that dark cesspool of energy where everybody is like flailing around trying to get somebody else to save them, until you realize like you can save yourself. You can just, get out of it. Like, you can get out of it, and then you can look back and go, what the hell was I doing in there? And then you just see, like, I see it as like this. It is the steaming, the hell, the burning flames of distortion, of deceiving ourselves, and people stay in that heat, in that stew pot of deception. They don't. It's like it's harder for them to look at the truth and see themselves. They need that to rely on and stuff, but to see the universe is taking it away. It's going to be the great awakening, is when all of a sudden the light flips and all of a sudden the people see, and there's nothing to hold on to anymore. And you have to see yourself, and you have to be like, oh, well, I was doing that? Okay, sorry. Just humble yourself is all I can say. Just, I'm sorry. You can't see what you can't see. You can't do things before you know them, and you're here to learn them. So there's going to be a point that's going to be, it's a humbling, though. It's not meant to just be an embarrassing. It's meant to be a humbling. And it's like an ego check. It's like, so you can see where you can see yourself more clearly. You can understand your motivation more. And so, but to get out of the darker timeline, to me, it was like a recognition of my own patterns and my own behaviors in the parts that I played in order to allow myself to be in these toxic relationships. Once you can break free from that, then, to me, it's not like, oh, well, I've been just going in relationships. No, I've let a lot of relationships fall apart. And I wasn't out there, trying to hurry and find one to mend it, which would have been my toxic behavior. But I've just gone through this singular isolation and healing myself, and really learning about me, finding me, who I am, and in that realizing like how much there was distortion through others' views of me, and how it's very cleansing to let go of all these other people's views of you and to move out of that arena and into it's a lighter kind of thing. But you do, you see parts of yourself that you don't like, and parts of yourself that you wish that you could change. But that's where you got to be like, you're here to change it. You weren't here to change it, before you could see it. I mean, everything is lined up perfectly for you to see it when you see it. And when we stop judging one another and judging each other, then we can allow ourselves to exist, allow ourselves to be present and learn from what the things that are happening to us. And So once you go through this process, it starts bringing you into this other vibration where you're not going to go and just, you're not desperate to just go be around somebody who's toxic or whatever. You're not desperate for anything. And it brings you into this other version of yourself where you feel everything's okay, everything's fine. And in that one, where you're feeling good all the time, you're feeling happy, you're feeling like productive, in that one, that's when the good stuff starts coming to you. And we'll see. It's coming, I'm telling you. It may seem a little foreign right now. It may seem like a little crazy, like, okay, yeah, girl, you're living in a garage in your mom's garage in a tent. So, real good things. Yeah, you're one to talk. But watch and see. Good things will start happening because you can look at the eviction in a lot of different ways. I try and look at it as a positive. I got out of a place that was really scary to me, and the storms are coming. I don't think the storms are going away anytime soon. And there's certain areas, which that area is on the chopping block, there's certain areas that are going to be disappearing. And so I feel like that is a positive to get moved out of there, even if the next place, if this is like a temporary stop. It's a dock on my way to where I'm going. And, but it's also a dock that, you got to go in and clear the air. You got to cleanse yourself of some old stuff, and it's simple stuff too. It's not like it has to be huge. Simple things like reminders of like, oh, certain things, and it just makes you think like, oh, you just have like the aha moments and stuff. I don't see it's all as treacherous. Healing is hard. It's just a lot of like letting go of things of just like, oh man, yeah, that used to bother me. Now it's just like, who cares? And so that moving up into that area is where good things, you start having good things come to you because you feel good. It's not dark. You're not learning those same lessons. Now you're getting to learn more about abundance, getting to learn more about acceptance. When the good things can happen to you, you have worth, you have value. Like the lessons, I believe, are going to start going in a new direction. And I feel like we're right at this precipice of change, and that there's a lot of people who are going towards that change. And there's a lot of people who are still back in the cesspool arguing it out and stuff. And then they'll see, that's going to be a snap on their arguing, where it's going to be like, wait a minute, where are all those people going? All this good stuff's happening for them, and we're over here arguing about this shit. And so people are going to get a lot more focused on trying to improve their lives and get out of this fucking arguing and bullshit, because that's where they want to keep you in a division, in a divisive state, so that you don't ascend, you don't evolve, you don't grow, because that's the trap. The prison trap, because then you don't know who the fuck you are. You get over there and they say, go back in, you're not done yet. And then the people turn around, go back in, and they get in this, I think they must be after lifetime of being told that, and they're just dragging ass now. It's like, I've done this enough, because it's kind of like they're lost. Which that goes also with that kind of Dolores Cannon thing of saying that there was a bunch of souls that came here to kind of pull these other ones out. Because of this trap that's going. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll see more and get more clarity and stuff like that as things progress. But there's a few things I know. And I do know that everything is energy, and that I don't understand how he was saying that makes it into matter, and it makes you into, like it was so weird. That's what I was saying. Like, there's so many of these people who have the most strangest kind of perceptions. But, there's other people that could totally be in alignment with them. Like I've said a zillion times, like, there's no reason to argue. Like, we'll see. The truth will be shown. And which it's got to include shit with the like, that's a big one. That's a real big one to keep holding back from people. And so, I don't know. I feel like that we're close to this thing, this switchback, this flipping, and it's getting close, but it just seems like I don't know, sometimes it seems like it lingers. Like sometimes, like, I'll just be looking outside in the dark, and watching the moon go from one side to the next side. Like, what the hell are you doing up there? And then just disappear. Like, it's so absurd. But that, where you think, like, this is also mental. This is also crazy. The world's so crazy. The sky's so crazy. Something's got to go. Like, when is this going to happen? And that just seems like it kind of just keeps dragging and dragging, where it's like, well, it seems like something's going to go. Something's going to happen in the sky. You have the fucking galactic people who are talking to the Federation or whatever, saying, that this is supposed to have already happened. This is supposed to go at any point. And I don't know. They can be very much. Like, I was out there looking last night, and I could see tons of ships again. You can see it when you're watching, because I'll see like one that's doing the spinning colors, and then all of a sudden you'll see a red light blinking next to it. I saw so many that, like, this little red light just all of a sudden blink, and then it'll just sit there. Then it'll just be this red light will blink, and so many of those ones spinning around and stuff. Like, there's definitely a lot of ships up there, 100%. And I don't know if they are to show a force of, like, don't forget about us because you guys aren't fucking around. But right now, I don't feel like there's fucking around. I feel like that there's exposure. There is trying to get people on board, but we have so much resistance. And that was the thing I was going to say on that Jag Prosebiak thing too. They were talking all about the Christians and being slaughtered, and how unsafe it is. And they had Candace Owens on, and she was talking about what a great Christian he is, and he's talking about what a great Christian she is, and just all of this, which, when you're talking to someone who's spiritual, it's like, how you guys are holding back. You're trapped on this concept. This Bible has got you in a mind trap or something. And then it's like, some of these people, though, I keep on thinking, like, surely they understand more about what they're letting on. Like, I don't know. Like, 100%, I can't imagine Donald doesn't know, like, the truth. That he hasn't talked to the galactics or these interdimensional people or whatever, that he hasn't talked to them. Like, there's people who know the hidden truth, the mystery of the world. And it's not anything about worshiping God to get to this heaven and sing at Jesus' feet. And so, I don't know. It's just weird. It was really weirding me out when I was up there listening to it. It's like, God, it's so, like, cult-like and so misleading, and it's so limiting. It just limits people. Like, when you can let go of that, man, the universe can really open up to you. But, like, your communication, well, it's coming from the devil. Your souls can't talk to you after they've gone, and there's a whole lot of stuff. It's just like, what the hell? And so anyways, that was really making me think, like, there's just some things, like, I don't know how they're going to work through that, because there's no fucking way we're going into this world, this one world society of Christianity, like, all these different religions. It's like all the different religions are going to have to set their thing down. You can be like, well, this is how I believe, this is how I practice my beliefs, this is what I do. But it's not going to be a conformity. It's going to be an individual thing. And so that's about sovereignty. It's about freedom. And so it's going to go in a different direction, and it's going to be a lot more open, where, like, people who aren't trapped in one will be able to get the benefits of listening to all of these different ones and be able to see more and put more together for themselves. But the people who are trapped in one, they don't want the other information. They only want their information, so it keeps them limited in their perceptions. So anyways, a lot of the stuff is just going to have to break apart and break down. It's very curious to see how it's all going to go, what's going to happen next. But again, I can't believe that they could, I mean, they were holding this money fucking thing long, but there's going to be such a reparation. There's going to be so much that's going to come back to us that people will overlook that real quick. But and there's going to be so much chaos too, because there's going to be people who are going to fall apart. Like, I bought a $650,000 house and now it's worth 10. Oh. They're going to freak the fuck out. But, so we have that to go. With the medical, like, there's no fucking way. Like, they have got to be opening those up soon. I just can't even. And then, the truth. Like, the truth is going to have to maybe they'll have to play that out slowly. I don't know. But it's much different than what people believe. The truth is a lot more bigger, you know. Just that's the only thing I can say is it's bigger and better. And but yeah, I don't believe in this like one singular fella sitting up there in judgment of it all. Like that doesn't sound very heavenly. But anyways. But I'm planning to go today and go to the thing. This just keeps on bothering me. It's like, maybe I should stay home. Maybe I should. It's like, no, but it is really sore. There is this big scab thing on top of my head, which I don't want to open it. But it does need to stay open because that's how you trap an infection. When something is deeper and then it doesn't clean, it doesn't heal from the inside out, then it traps. Like when something seals up and you have this part that's still healing inside, that's where you get infection and stuff. So anyways, I don't want that to happen. Even though it's really tiny, I don't think it would make that big thing where my scalp will come off. Oh, so gross. Anyways, so what else was I gonna say? I don't really know much of what's going on besides they're killing all the Christians. They're coming into a time of peace. They're trying to draw a lot of attention on a lot of bullshit, and everything's falling apart, and everything's trying to gear us towards a new beginning. But there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of people resistant because they don't understand. You know, they want to keep this money going to the criminals. Like, I'm used to this. It's like, well, we all want it to stop. We all want our abundance. We all want our freedom. Like, I was thinking, man, if they all of a sudden handed us out some money, I was thinking, what would I do, like, right now? I think I would just go and try and find a little farm. That would be my first thing, I think, is trying to find a home base, a place where, you know, to build up and call home, a place where Stella can call home, and a place where they can have, you know, a structure. And because I really want like a big yard thing, but I want the animal. Like I want her to have her own little pride. Whatever, she has her own. As I swear to God, I think that she has got a very lioness side to her, and she needs her pride. She needs to have a whole thing she's in charge of. That she goes out and she looks at it. She stands out there and looks like I run this show. And there's lots of animals that need rescuing. And so, you know, rescue some pigs, rescue some goats, rescue some horses, rescue some cows. There's all these ones that have been saved from the slaughterhouse, and you can go down and you can get them. And I don't know, I've seen different prices. I've seen where people have bought things for $1 and brought home these like really sickly animals to try and heal back and stuff. There's just all sorts of things. Like, you can't buy something you don't understand. Like, I couldn't go and get things, you know, that I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things about horses, but I mean, I really want to have like a donkey or a mule. I want to have a couple of goats. I was thinking I wanted to have some sheep because I could get their wool and I can use it and make my own yarn. And chickens for sure, because you get eggs. Cow, because if you get a milking cow, you can use the milk to make cream and cheese. And just take care of a cow. Like, everything you take care of gives back to you. And so it's like, that's the circle of life to me. Not like, let's just eat each other, the bigger, whoever's bigger gets to eat the smaller. To me, it's like when we take care of each other, we give each other back and forth. It creates a harmony in life. We take care of the cow gives us milk or cheese or whatever you want to use it. Like, I wouldn't use it to slaughter. It's funny too, is always with meat eater people who are eating meat, there will always be something that they won't eat, and it's like, oh, like even if it are a big meat eater, and you said, what about eating cat and dog? Because that's being eaten all over the place, rat, guinea pig, like they're eating all sorts of shit. And then there's always a point where it's like, oh no, but really, like, where's the line? We've all got to start considering, the consuming something else because it's weaker, because we can, is it still the right thing to do? And I also believe that the yearning for iron and for the blood out of a beast is, you can find it by just building the iron up inside your body, like cooking and cast iron and stuff. So anyways, that's my rant for the day. So let's just remember what we're doing here, because I'm telling you, of all this chaos, all this shit going on, the things that you do take with you, the things that matter most, is what you can do, is learning about yourself and learning how to love yourself and how to love everybody and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you and you can do it. You can do it. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.